up this Wednesday, debt collectors can keep going after you for years to pay up. But the rules on how they can do it could be changing. Why there are concerns they don't go far enough. And more colleges are adding food banks, but there can be a stigma surrounding them. The innovative way one school is changing that. And there are so many fees that come along with flying these days, and that includes to sit next to your kid. We're looking into the new push to get airlines to change their rules.
Thank you, Annie. A snowy day here across central Indiana, but you can see from Live Drive here on the northeast side of the city, it's behaving as far as staying on the trees and the grassy areas, and for the most part, roadways are just on the wet side. Now, they might become a little bit slick here as we go through the next couple of hours and that sun starts to set, especially, I think, some of those sidewalks. Here's a look on Storm Team 6 radar. You can see that snow has been pinwheeling through the area. Some of the bursts of moderate snow right now through the Greensburg area, and also as we work our way through portions of Marion and Hamilton counties right now. It's added up to 3 inches in West Lafayette, close to that in Kokomo, but you can see as we get toward the airport in Indianapolis, officially only measuring about a ½ an inch of snow, but a lot of this has been melting on contact, so it has been difficult to actually get those measurements. Here's a look as we go through the next couple of hours. You can see the snow is really going to continue to spin into portions of Ohio, and we'll just have a few flurries here, I think, once we get past about 9 o'clock this evening. Those temperatures, they are starting to drop below the freezing mark. 30 degrees right now with that northwest breeze in Indy, and temperatures will continue to be the story now, dropping down into the lower 20s by tomorrow morning. Amanda?
Thank you, Kyle. Only on our TV6, the prosecutor in his fight against prostate cancer. Former Marion County prosecutor Terry Curry decided to resign from his elected position 6 months ago to focus on his health. Our TV6's Rafael Sanchez shows us how he is keeping healthy and shares his message for all men.
Terry Curry is up early and in the gym often. From the gym, Curry has a full plate as a deputy prosecutor assigned to the grand jury division. We met in the room, which is off limits to the public.
When the grand jury sits, it consists of 6 jurors.
It's been 6 months since he sent the governor a letter resigning as Marion County prosecutor to focus on his fight against prostate cancer.
As a consequence, I made that choice. But for most men, I don't think they even have to make a choice, that they can continue just as everything existed up to that point in time.
Since going public with his health, Curry has found a lot of support.
I've just encountered so many other men in the time since I've disclosed this I feel good about the fact that I can encourage them to take it head on and just live their life.
He was diagnosed with the cancer in January 2015.
It's just incredibly common disease among adult men.
He's undergone multiple surgeries. A clinical trial at Johns Hopkins in Baltimore did not work, but he continues his medical treatments to control the cancer.
You reach a certain age, mortality starts to creep into your mind in any event, and then when you contract a disease like cancer, certainly the concept of mortality is something that I think about pretty regularly. But I got a great family, I got a great life, and so it's just a matter of staying positive and maintaining my normal day-to-day routine and activities.
For him, that's practicing law and getting the occasional scone at the city market.
There you are. Have a great day.
He's a familiar face in this space and in this place where there's no doubt he embraces the weight of working on his health so he can press forward with his message to men.
It is controllable, and you can live your life.
And Curry is calling on men to get a prostate check, especially if you're 50 years or old. Now, African-American men have a higher rate of facing the cancer. You need to learn the level of your PSA, that stands for prostate-specific antigen. You want your PSA to be less than 4. Anything higher is a red flag.
Let's start the news feed. A major ruling from a federal appeals court. It says the Trump administration can withhold money from states to push them to cooperate with ICE. States had sued back in 2017 after the Justice Department said it would not give out grant money to places that blocked access for ICE to certain information. A bipartisan message from Congress to President Trump. Don't use Pentagon funds for a border wall. Lawmakers say the move could have negative long-term consequences. And the Justice Department is creating a denaturalization section for terrorists, sex offenders, and other criminals. It will investigate people who illegally became U.S. citizens. Renters in Seattle will no longer find themselves homeless during winter. The mayor is allowing the city council's moratorium on some evictions from December to February to become law. When we first told you about the proposal, the mayor had said she was against it, but the council was unanimous and could have overridden her veto. The mayor maintains her own push to spend more on eviction prevention services, saying it would do more good. Seattle is the first U.S. city to officially adopt this type of ban. Well, the first supervised injection site in the country is set to open in Philadelphia next week. The judge who made the ruling says the intent here is to save lives, not encourage drug use. The plan was introduced by a nonprofit named Safe House. It says the new site will allow people struggling with addiction to use in a clinic-like setting. If they overdose, they get medical help and would also be counseled about treatment and other health services. While the plan is seen as controversial by some, Safe House says the goal is to reduce drug use, not facilitate it. A safe injection site in Canada says that their program has been successful. 1,000 people have overdosed at the Works in Toronto, but every one of those lives was saved.
So many people have died because of overdose, and we know that while people are here, they're not going to die.
In fact, not a single safe injection site around the world has reported an overdose death. Other American cities that are also considering similar sites include Seattle, New York, San Francisco, and Somerville, Massachusetts. Well, still ahead in our lineup, there's a loophole that lets collectors that keep going after your debt even after your statute of limitations is up. How the rule on this could be changing.
On the 2020 Altima.
This is the Now Indy on RTV6. Right now, police are searching for the woman who stole an envelope full of money belonging to a group of firefighters. Investigators say the Speedway firefighters were getting groceries at Kroger last Saturday morning when they got called to an emergency. They pushed their cart to the front and told employees they'd be back, but they returned to find the cart was gone along with the bank bag they had accidentally left with it. It had cash they had pulled together to buy groceries. Police want to speak with this woman here. If you know her, we have the number to call in this story on the RTV6 app.
Kicking off our Now News feed with rude drivers. A new study is saying that people who drive flashy cars are the worst. They say this is science. UNLV researchers found that expensive car owners feel superior and are less likely to stop and allow pedestrians to cross the road. Starbucks customers in Canada will soon have a meat-free option if they're grabbing a quick bite. Its newest sandwich will include a veggie-based patty with egg and cheddar cheese. Starbucks does not have plans to sell this sandwich in the U.S. And Apple is highly protective of its image, so much so it won't allow bad guys in movies to use iPhones. Well, this is according to Ryan Johnson, the director of Knives Out. Apple has yet to confirm if this is true or not. Debate is brewing over what's known as zombie debt. This is due to a new proposal from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. So here's a quick breakdown. Debt collectors have a set amount of time to sue people who haven't paid up. That statute of limitations can be around 3 to 6 years. The loophole is that if you acknowledge your debt in writing or make a payment after that statute expired, then you're reopening the window to be sued.
So the debt comes back to life like a zombie, and then they can suddenly, it starts the clock over, so they can sue you again.
The CFPB proposal would let collectors keep trying to get payments on those old debts, but they'd have to tell consumers what it means for them legally. Advocates with Americans for Financial Reform say that plan doesn't go far enough.
It feels inherently deceptive to me that someone who doesn't know the law, who doesn't know debt collection, who maybe has fallen on hard times at one point in their life, and they're getting a letter that makes it seem like they have to pay or something's going to happen to them, when the point of the statute of limitations of the law and the policy behind it is the exact opposite.
The industry group ACA International supports the proposed disclosure. Debt collectors also warn not being able to collect on old debts would hurt credit markets. All right, ahead in our lineup, more colleges are helping students get the food they can't afford. The unique way one school is making sure they don't feel any sense of shame getting help. We hear the student loan debt numbers frequently. $1.6 trillion in total, more than $30,000 per person on average. Well, here's a number you haven't likely heard, 99%. That's the number of people misled into excluding student debt from bankruptcy. That's according to a new business looking to change that. Reset Button is a tech company that matches people with attorneys that have experience in litigating student debt in bankruptcy. CEO Rob Hunter says there is a misconception the debt can't be included.
But oftentimes what we see happening is that the lenders on the other side of the table, they're rational actors, right? And if it makes sense, if there's a world that exists where a settlement that can be reached, that can be very quick sometimes. We're talking 6, 8, maybe 12 weeks, depending on the individual situation.
Hunter says anyone can enter their information on Reset Button for free. Even if they are not a good fit for bankruptcy, they will be connected to other student debt resources like refinance or income-based repayment. If they get connected with a bankruptcy attorney, the fee is not charged up front, but rather over months. The fee is capped at 12% of the debt that's eliminated, and there's no fee if at least half of the debt can't be eliminated.
Someone trying to declare bankruptcy that shouldn't is a terrible situation, not a good idea whatsoever. But someone that should declare bankruptcy waiting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years to do it is equally terrible.
Reset Button just launched a couple weeks ago, so they don't have statistics yet on successful student debt bankruptcy. But they say hundreds of people with the help of just a couple dozen attorneys are able to do so each year. Well, the coronavirus outbreak in China is affecting how we shop online here. Many sellers on Amazon have their products made in China, but now factories are facing worker shortages as towns in China self-quarantine. As soon as products are out of stock, Amazon ranks them lower on search lists. So in order to make sure there's still enough stock, sellers are raising their prices to slow down sales.
Hiring Hoosiers is RTV6's commitment to make you aware of all kinds of job opportunities, so mark your calendar for next Thursday, March 5th. That's when the Hamilton County Youth Assistance Program will hold its 3rd annual Adult Career Hiring Fair. It will be held at Ivy Tech in Noblesville from 10 to 2. The program is designed to help you find living wage career pathways in your own community. Companies that are hiring full-time workers with a minimum salary of $27,000 have been invited to participate. More than 50 have signed up with the possibility of more to be added this week. They include Carmel Clay Schools, City of Fishers, Allison Transmission, Indiana Academy of Massage, Marshalls, and so many more. To find a complete list, head to hiringhoosiers.com and click on Career Resources. Kyle, looks like we have our live drive out there looking at those weather conditions.
Yeah, checking out I-69 now, heading back toward Indianapolis, and you can see that rush hour is moving along pretty good out there. The roads are in pretty good shape. Still, just want to use a little extra caution out there this evening, as we could have a couple of those slick spots developing as you're out and about. Temperatures right now, most areas down below freezing, right at the freezing mark in Bloomington, and it's these numbers that have really helped us out on those sidewalks and roadways throughout the day. 28 for you right now in Marion. Here's a look at Storm Team 6 radar. You see not a whole lot of snow over the western third of the state, and it's going to continue to kind of wind down here, where we're seeing a couple of those bursts of snow around North Vernon, also into Greensburg, and then we've just got some light snow showers sprinkled in there from around Anderson and areas to the south. Tonight, temperatures, they'll be dropping back into the lower 20s, even some teens. Noblesville at 19, 17 for you in Kokomo, where you've got about 3 inches of snow on the ground. Tomorrow, no snow in the forecast. See a little bit of sunshine, but temperatures are going to be on the cold side, especially with that west breeze at about 15 miles per hour. So we're only going to get our highs into the lower 30s, and wind chills are going to be in the single digits and lower teens as we start off tomorrow morning. Next few days of our forecast, there is a warming trend on the way. Also a nice quiet stretch of weather. Highs are in the 40s by Sunday. Annie?
Checking the news feed, the TSA TSA putting a temporary stop to hiring and overtime. Agency leaders saying the move is an effort to make sure the TSA can afford cost of living raises. The stoppage is expected to run through April or May. Intel must face a lawsuit over its handling of people's retirement funds. This comes after the Supreme Court says it would not support more restrictive guidelines on when employees could sue. Intel workers said the company made risky investments costing them millions. A doomsday vault stored in the Arctic just got some new additions. 30 different seeds were added to it. So the vault is intended to protect seeds for crops in the wake of a major disaster like a nuclear war or famine, and it now contains more than 1 million types of seeds for crops. It may surprise you the number of people going hungry on college campuses. While Maya Rodriguez shows us an innovative way one university is reinventing what it means to go to a food pantry and how it's trying to eliminate the stigma that comes with it.
That was nice.
Nestled away on this college campus sits a student lounge, unlike any you'll find at a typical college.
You're thinking someplace you can relax, someplace you can kind of just let your hair down for a moment.
Christina Beckton is a nursing student here at Bowie State University in Maryland.
There is certainly a financial constraint being in college.
And on more than one occasion, she's found herself hungry and here at the university's new nutritional lounge. It's a place where students can come and get food they can't afford. Inside, there's comfy seating, a flat screen TV, and a jar for suggestions of food students would like to see featured on the shelves. But you won't see the words food pantry anywhere around here for one main reason.
There is a stigma, and we want the students to know that we're here to support them. We want to make sure that, they don't feel that any sense of shame.
Dr. Aminta Bro is president of Bowie State, Maryland's first historically black college and university. She says most of their 6,100 students are commuter students. Many work while going to school, but still hunger abounds, according to a survey by the Hope Center for College, Community, and Justice.
A recent study at 123 college campuses around the country found that 45% of those surveyed said they had gone hungry in the last 30 days. It's a situation that school administrators say is both heartbreaking and unacceptable.
Unless we get the word out as we are now, I don't think we'll be able to adequately address this issue.
Back at the lounge, food donations arrive from alumni, along with weekly donations from a local Food Lion supermarket and the Capital Area Food Bank.
Yeah, so definitely peanut butter. I have come in here, gotten oatmeal.
Donations that are making a difference in Christina's last few months of college.
This is my senior year. I'll be graduating in May. Thank you.
A helping hand before she and fellow students set out on their own. In Prince George's County, Maryland, I'm Maya Rodriguez reporting.
Maya, thank you. Video games could be used to treat ADHD. A study done by more than a dozen groups looked at whether or not games can improve attention spans. The research did find the game showed promise in helping with the disorder. And Walmart could soon have a bigger presence in the healthcare field. The company is looking at adding new health centers at more stores. The centers provide in-depth care, including medical, vision, and dental. Well, finally, in our lineup, there are so many fees that come along with flying these days, and that includes to sit next to your kid. The complaints about this are growing, so we're looking into the new push to get airlines to change their rules.